Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We have the AGL LR Goku and Vegeta's showcase. We have them on their new 200% lead, and we're gonna see how they do. I've been seeing a lot of talk about how they're mid, they're not that good. While I don't think they're like top 3, even top 5 unit in the game or anything, I don't think they're gonna be bad. And from what I've seen, I don't think they're bad. Not every single unit has to displace or constantly be in contention of top best unit in the game or top 3 unit in the game immediately. It just doesn't work like that. But I don't think they're mid or anything. However, this rotation here isn't obviously the best. We literally only have 2 links active, only Fierce Battle being one of the attack links. We need to obviously to get a rotation going, because right now this isn't great for them. We're not even going to get an 18 key off. I mean, we can actually get some support from Pycon, I guess. But not that that's going to do much, but in terms of what they do, there are Joined Forces or Movie Heroes 170 lead, which is nice that Joined Forces finally have a 170 lead. Joined Forces still needs some synergy going on. It still needs, you know, the likes of an orb changer, maybe some, you know, key supply, things like that. And also the 30% additional part is from Pure Saiyan. So Joined Forces Pure Saiyans is actually a very niche, very small category. However, it's pretty much just all the best Goku and Vegeta units. So it's going to be a lot of fun to try that out. Also, Kale and Cleef are on there as well, so 200% lead video pending for them potentially. And then Movie Heroes Pure Saiyans is also very good as well. It's pretty much just a more expansive version of the Year 7 Gods category lead, if I'm being honest. But still a solid category nonetheless. On 12 key, they do raise attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to the enemy. On 18 key, they also raise attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn and cause mega colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowers attack and defense. That is one of my qualms with this unit, is even after their morale boost transformation, their super attack effects don't change. They literally stay the same. They raise attack and defense on 12 and 18 key, pre and post active or pre and post transformation. And I'm not sure why. I do feel like on 18 key transformation or pre-morale boost, they could have greatly raised attack and defense. Or if you weren't going to do that, I thought definitely post-transformation or morale boost, the 18 key should definitely be bumped up to like greatly raised attack and defense for the turn, rather than just remaining the same on every single super attack effect. I do feel like it should have been bumped up at least once. Kind of weird they didn't decide to do that. But it would have been nice, especially it would have helped them, and would have helped them been a bit more reliable in the likes of events like Red Zone, especially defensively, and also combined with that damage reduction. But kind of a weird design choice. They didn't decide to bump up any of the super attack effects, even pre and post morale boost. But we do have Goku and Vegeta in rotation with them now, or at least the Year 3 Easy A1, who do actually share the same amount of links with them as Birdku. They do share 5 links with a lot of units in the game. So their link set is very good, and that's the other qualm I have with this unit, is their link set. You know, they do get additional key in their passive per type keys for obtained. So it's kind of weird how they gave them so many key links. It does make it easier to get their 18 key off, yes. However, I don't know why they went with so many key links. They could have thrown in like an extra attack or an extra attack and defense link or something. I think that would have benefited them. But we do have a much better setup now, so we are on a 307k attack stat pre-super, 131k defense, which I know people have been saying defensively they're not the best. And I know they're not. You know, they don't have the most insane amount of defense, especially post-super. It's like almost 300k, around about that region. 5 mil attack stat though. You know, I know their defense isn't the best. As I said, that's one of the main reasons why I also do believe they should have bumped up one of the SA effects. As I said, whether it was post morale boost or pre, especially on the 18 key, or even both, I think would have been good. I do feel like they should have done that just to make them a bit more defensively reliable and defensively consistent in the likes of Red Zone. However, I do also believe they're more of an offensive kit. They definitely are. You know, built-in additional, built-in crit. They are more of an offensive kit type unit. So that's probably why their defense isn't too high, which I kind of get. You know, you can't be doing like 10 million attack stats or insane attack stats, and then, you know, you're out here also tanking Red Zone supers for nothing. Like, I get it. but they are an offensive build, and considering some of the units you can link them with because of how easy it is to link them, one of their main rotations you go with in harder content is going to be with Birdku. And of course, Birdku is one of the best units in the game, stacks defense, has a revival, has guard, once he revives, has guaranteed guard at all times. These two sit in slot 2, share 5 links with him. They can do their thing by dealing the amount of damage they do, which is pretty good in slot 2. Again, I do still think at least one of the super attack effects on either the 18 key post or pre-transformation boost, or even both, should have been greatly raised attack and defense on at least one of them. Again, just to kind of hold up that consistency. But they do have some pretty solid defensive units around them, and don't forget, not every single unit in the game is going to be best unit in the game, top 3. Also, not every single unit in the game is going to be, you know, an absolute brick wall, one of the best defensive units. Attack and defense are both as valuable as each other. You need to survive red zone, but you also need to kill the boss. You also need to beat it. So not every single unit is going to be doing the same thing by tanking everything while dealing out insane amounts of damage. And I'm okay with that. But I do think there's some slight weird design choices. I'm definitely not going to say they're perfect or anything. I do think there are some slight weird kind of design choices with them. And, you know, I've already stated what they are, so I'm not going to keep going over them. But this is kind of the ideal setup you do want for them. On their passive, they are getting key +3 and attack and defense +150. They reduce damage received by 20%, so they've got some damage reduction. It's only a little bit, so you're not going to be tanking everything for nothing, but it's something. That will go up post transformation. They also get an additional key +1 per type keys for obtained, which is great because on an LR you also want them to get their 18 key, especially because they also get crit on their 18 key as well by performing an ultra super attack. But 5.8 is still pretty solid damage output, considering for the first 3 turns you have a 50% chance of launching an additional super attack, which, you know, considering the amount of damage you could do off 2 supers with these guys, it is pretty good as a collective. Not to mention you have an extra 20% damage reduction for those 3 turns as well. So the first 3 turns, they're going to have 40% damage reduction on top of the fact they're going to have 150% attack and defense, and also raise their attack and defense by 30% on both 12 and 18 key, which means for the first 3 turns, they are going to be very, very good defensively, which in red zone, which a lot of the stages just start immediately just doing ridiculous amounts of damage, that can be useful. So that's also very nice. They also get an additional attack and defense +50% and a medium chance of performing a critical hit when performing an ultra super attack. That's why the extra key +1 per type keys for obtained is handy when it comes to collecting the 18 key, because you'll get a 30% chance to crit. Even at 55%, which mine are, having a built-in additional like that, even though it is only for 3 turns, before they get the morale boost and a 30% chance to crit on 18 key is great. Again, especially at 55%, if you get dupes with that, combined with that, damage output is going to be fantastic. And then of course they receive a morale boost when conditions are met, which is upon entering the next attack in turn, which we have got now. Upon entering the next attack in turn, after the character performs 3 or more super attacks, and this isn't an either or, this is combined, 3 or more super attacks, which is relatively easy because in the first 3 turns you have a 50% chance to launch an additional, which helps them in, you know, getting their transformation conditions off. And you receiving 7 or more attacks in battle, which again, their passive really helps them on getting this morale boost as quick as possible. Because again, you have a 50% chance of launching an additional super attack, which obviously accommodates to you performing 3 or super attacks to get that active. Then you have the 40% damage reduction for 3 turns, so you're going to be putting these guys in the line of fire to soak up some damage, especially in a realistic scenario where Birdku maybe hasn't stacked too much, so you put them in slot 1 for 3 turns while he's stacking up some defense, maybe you're trying to force the revive, so he guards at all times. So their passive really does help them get their transformation off, which I really do like. It is a good design choice. But now we have the morale boost. So after they hit the morale boost, the super attacks on 12 and 18 key remain the same. As I've already said, I do feel like, you know, at least the 18 key on one of them, pre or post morale boost, should have been bumped up to more attack and defense. Whether that was greatly, massively, I don't really care. I do really feel like there should have been more. They get key +2 instead of key +3 at the start of turn. They keep the attack and defense +150. I do still think that's kind of weird. They didn't bump that up at all either, to even to like 180. But the damage reduction does go up to 30% from 20%. So they're on a 284k attack stat right now, 131k defense. Let's give them some key spheres. They're getting 24 key. Whenever they get their 24 key, they do get guaranteed crit though. which is obviously going to help them in terms of their damage output each turn, which is very nice. Probably a reason why they're not doing like 10 million attack stats like that, you know, because if you get 24 ki or more, which is relatively easy with them, ki +2 at the start of turn, ki +2 now that they've got their morale boost, so that means you get ki +2 instead of 1 per type keys for obtained. And all the key links, it's a lot easier to get 24 ki with them, which means they're constantly hitting big damage on crits. So that's probably why none of the super attacks effects got bumped up. They didn't get more attack and defense after the transformation. As I said, I get it, but I do think, as I said, more so defensively. 5.8 mil is still solid. I do think defensively, the super attacks effect should have been bumped up purely because it would have helped a lot, and it would have helped them be more reliable in harder content. There's the crit, and there's also the additional. So the collective amount of damage they can do in the turn is still very, very good, even though they're not doing 10 million attack stats, you know, every single turn, and also critting on that as well. So the collective damage, pretty insane. Imagine kind of like a B-Tech cooler. You know, coolers type of damage as a collective in a turn, just, you know, half the amount of super attacks with guaranteed crits. So their damage output is still very, very good, don't get me wrong. But they're definitely not perfect. But yeah, on top of the fact, of course, you now have 30% damage reduction and ki +2 per type keys for obtained. They also launch an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. That's a great chance. I said that does help them with the collective amount of damage they can do. You know, if you're constantly launching an additional super attack, you're constantly hitting 24 ki, which means you're constantly doing a crit guaranteed. As I said, it does mean their damage output in terms of the actual amount of damage they're doing to an enemy, to a boss in red zone, is up there. It's definitely up there. They also still get the additional attack and defense plus 50% and a medium chance of performing a critical hit when performing an ultra super attack. And then, of course, as I said, if you do get up to 24 ki, you will perform a critical hit when activating the active skill or when ki is 24. So you're getting a guaranteed crit when you get their active off, which you can kind of wait to pop their active, then use it. And then, of course, you're doing even more damage on the active. And then, of course, every time you hit a 24 ki super, you will always guaranteed crit. So as I said, their damage output is still very, very good, especially because you have a 70% chance of launching an additional super, and as long as you're hitting 24 ki or more, you're getting an additional attack and defense plus 50% on top of all that, raising your attack and defense on ultra super attack, and getting a guaranteed crit. I just think defensively, they're obviously not the best. I do feel like they should have been slightly better defensively. You know, as I said, 18 ki, greatly raised attack and defense, whether that's on both pre-transformation or just after the transformation would have been fine for me. Along with a 30% damage reduction, I would have been okay with that, considering how much damage they can actually collectively do in terms of raw damage done to an enemy. I would have been completely fine with that. But in terms of everyone calling them bad, I definitely don't think they're bad. It's just, as I said, not every single unit in the game has to be an amazing tank while doing insane amounts of damage. It just doesn't work like that. There needs to be some balancing. But we do have their active ready, so we are indeed going to pop it. And this is going to look dope. They generally have amazing animations. So does Cooler. Obviously, we will get to them. But let's just sit back and enjoy the animations, because that's something they definitely have.
Odds are against us. Every breath in my body will be spent trying. That's the last time you underestimate a save.
Honestly, their animations are so good, and of course we just saw the guaranteed crit they're going to constantly get on their active as well, which their active can be activated when facing only one enemy, which is ideal for red zone, or even when you get down to the final enemy left in Super Battle Road. And also that can be activated, or also upon activation, you'll cause ultimate damage and you'll stun the enemy for one turn. So any red zone stages where you can stun, these two are going to be great at dealing some big boy crits against them, especially if you have dupes, and also stunning them, which is very handy at avoiding some pretty gnarly super attacks red zone bosses do. And also, as I said, very handy when you may come down to the final enemy in the likes of Super Battle Road. So far, I do think they're pretty good. As I said, are they like top 3, even top 5 unit in the game? No, they're definitely still within the top 10 though. But so far, I'm still impressed. I'm still impressed. So hopefully we can get the support with Pike on. Actually, we should be able to. There's literally just loads of rainbow keys fizz there. So this should be the final rotation of the video. They're almost on a million attack stat, literally just shy of 200k defense. We've got the support. This will be the final rotation. And remember, this is all being performed at 55% the dupe system. 6.5 million attack stat. To conclude with this unit, like everyone's saying, I don't think they're mid. I don't think they're bad. I just think, understandably so, by the way, that KO screen, fantastic. I do think everyone's used to, you know, these ultra defensive units that tank red zone for next to nothing or just incredibly well. And also because of the year 7s, everyone's used to these insane attack stats where you see like 10 mil, 8 mil with literally no effort at all. And I kind of get it. But I said at the same time, not every single unit is going to be the hardest hitting. Not every single unit is going to be defensively amazing and tank red zone for nothing. And also not every single unit that drops, including easy A's as we've seen recently, are going to be one of the best units in the game immediately. Are they bad? No. Are they top 3? No. Are they even top 5? No. But they're definitely within the top 10. They're still a very good unit. And in terms of them not being the best defensively, again, they don't have to be. This is a more of an offensive build, more an offensive kit, which I'm okay with. You know, you need diversity on a team. You need units that are going to tank. You need units that are going to do big boy damage. And these are those units that are going to do the big boy damage. Could they have been better defensively? 100%. As I said, there should have been one of the that's actually a friend one, but you get what I mean. One of the SA effects should have been bumped up to at least greatly raise an attack and defense. I said I didn't mind if it was, you know, on both 18 keys, pre and post transformation, or if it was on one of them post transformation. One of the SA effects should have been bumped up to make them more reliable and more consistent in the likes of red zone. Do I think they can still handle red zone? Yes, because at the end of the day, you need to survive red zone. Not many units in the game can tank supers well against red zone anyway, especially against the final bosses. A lot of units will still get you pretty much killed or one shot. But at least these guys offer a lot of damage output. Are they doing 8-10 million attack stats? No. But once they have their transformation done, and it's relatively easy to get their 24 key, they get the additional attack and defense plus 50%, they raise their attack and defense by 30% on super, they're guaranteeing a crit, which means they're doing a lot of actual damage dealt to the boss every single time you get a 24 key. On top of that, launching an additional super attack, which has a 70% chance to become a super, which means the collective amount of damage you're doing is a lot. As I said, it's kind of like a B-Tech cooler in that sense, because obviously he does like 4 or 5, but you're also guaranteeing a crit, which means the amount of actual damage they are doing to a boss, to an enemy, is a lot. And plus the units that go around them, you have the likes of Birdku, as I said, is a great defensive unit, one literally top 3 in the game on both JP and Global. Stacks defense, guard, revive. They can chill in slot 2, doing the amount of damage they need to be doing their job. They're surrounded by some solid defensive units as well. But I do think defensively they should have been a little bit better. As I said, I've already said how they could have done that, but I do think defensively they could have been a bit better. Other than that, they're still pretty good. They are still pretty good. I don't think they're bad, I don't think they're mid or anything. I do still think they're pretty good, but do let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. And peace!